Welcome to Save My Marriage by Lee Buanas, and my name is Nessie Lee. I will first start by introducing my lovely husband, and then you can meet the Buanas of the Lee Buanas. Yes, tell us.
My name is Alvin Lee. I'm a fitness coach and nutritionist. I'm also the founder of Gamba Games, a creative as well. And I'm very blessed to be here on this show together with my wife and the Buanas on my right.
The Buanas on the right.
Buanas.
Whomst are you?
Whomst are we? We are creatives. My name is Vivian Buana. I'm a creative. I'm a pastor. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a counselor. I'm a friend. I'm a
Hey, Hey.
yeah, and a business partner with my partner right here.
Yeah.
Code Group.
Yes.
Partner, tell us.
My name is Anthony Buana, husband, a pastor, a creative. I'm a brand enthusiast. I just love creativity. So currently a strategist and a founder with my wife at Code Group, codegrp.com. Yes.
Hey.
That's us.
Just
And this is amazing for me. This is one of the major things for us to just see marriages being awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like he has said, we are actually called to help grow kingdom marriages.
Yeah.
So we are going to be real, we're going to be raw with you guys, we're going to share our experiences and listen into your experiences. We want to say a big thank you to Highland Suites for hosting us. It's an amazing place just around Yaya. So it's in a very conducive place.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Highland Suites. And today, we're continuing with that conversation we had started.
Yeah.
I want to know, what expectations do you think people have, the singles and the people who have a goal to get married? What expectations do you think they have that they need to dial down kidogo? Because the reality is a different story.
Yeah.
Yes, let's start with
Yeah. Well, I think what looks like the expectations are what we almost feed from the need. So I feel like people get into marriage because of a need situation. And so you want to feed your need.
Yeah.
And so some will be like, wow, I've been celibate for all this while. When I get
Hey,
married,
lucky
I'll have this all the time. Some feel I'll be wealthy because nowadays I'll have a husband who will be working or a wife who is well established and all that. So those expectations are some of the things that we get into marriage with, instead of coming in, understanding what really marriage is, like an institution. And so it's not a one side of you're feeding
Yourself.
we're feeding your needs, but we are supposed to notice our needs, then begin crafting it around what marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, I think I love how you've talked about the need, like there's the need that we have, but then there's the expectation that society has already put.
Yes.
And I think there is this whole, a wife is supposed to be, a husband is supposed to be.
Exactly.
A woman is supposed to, a man is supposed to, and so there is this whole pressure for this pressure to meet this expectation, and the worst part is even these expectations are not even on the same level ground. So you're coming in, uko na expectation, this one is coming in expectation yenye ameambiwa, pressure yenye ametoka nayo huko, huyu amekuja na yenye ametoka nayo huko, and then we expected to put them together and be like, why are you not meeting up? Why are you not meeting up?
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Can I give an example?
Yes, please.
Can I give an example?
Yes.
I think when I was getting married, one of my biggest concerns was I will never be myself again. Imagine, that's one of the, you feel me?
Same was up.
It's one
Same
of
was
the,
up.
like the reality that I knowing that I was going to marriage, having this pressure from society that as a woman you literally have to forsake who you are so that you can fit into this box.
For the system created.
You know, the box has created a system, and so I am supposed to fit in this box of wifeness and how I'm supposed to be. And for a moment, I felt like I would lose my personality and lose myself and lose my identity in marriage. Yet, in actual sense,
You got it.
I got my identity. Let me tell you, you get to the right partner. You know,
He's overexcited.
This
All you need,
Yes,
by the
it's
way,
true.
get the right partner.
Yes.
And they will
Right
bring
partner.
out the
best
best
out of
in you. I've
Very,
never
very
had
true.
situations of stories of people who, when they're with this person, they were very violent,
And
but then all of a sudden
yeah.
there was someone else, and you're like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What were you bringing up?
Oh, yeah.
Me, let me
What
tell
are you nourishing in your partner?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I think even bringing also an example that is so interesting that we see more often.
Yeah.
Like at the notion of a woman's place is in the kitchen.
Yes.
And then you find out that you're stepping into marriage,
Mm.
then you're finding a woman who has known her self-worth.
Yes.
And he's beyond that. And so
Yeah.
the expectation is like,
Mm.
but I think this should be happening. And even in a society of now where things have changed,
Mm.
where there will be probably someone to help within the house,
Mm.
and everything else is working so well, but you still have the mindset of, but she needs
She
to
doesn't
still be
need to
there, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
she's called to the boardroom. Hello.
Yeah.
But I really get what Vivian is saying. I think especially
Leslie had
for,
that.
okay, me, I got married young.
Yeah.
I was married at 23. I was literally fresh from you, like fresh
From
school.
graduation.
I just graduated, got into marriage. So I had not established me. I
Yeah.
didn't have Dubai at the time. Dubai is my hair care line for those who don't know. I didn't have something that says Nessie is this.
This.
Mm.
I had just left school.
Yeah.
So I was really scared of, oh my God, I'm just going to be known as Alvin's
Alvin's
wife.
wife.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, I sat down with one of my mom's friends. She's really mentoring and really nice. And she was like, why can't you be both? Who said you can't be both Alvin's wife and
And
boss?
this.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and I feel like I needed that permission.
Uh-huh.
I feel like,
yeah. Am I allowed? Is it okay?
Yeah, that
Oh.
kind of thing. And that's why I feel like
Man.
these conversations are really important because you will release someone from that bondage mentality of
Yes.
this
Yes.
was
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yes.
you can have both.
Yeah.
Kabisa.
That's the bottom
Kabisa.
line.
Exactly.
Very,
It
very
set me
true.
free. So it gave me time to
It's
settle into
healthier,
marriage
yeah.
one, and then find myself in it.
Mm.
Yes.
Because I remember when he told you I had never lived alone, so I didn't even. It was from my mother's house to my
Straight.
husband's house.
Mm.
So there was
And
no
bachelor
that
pad.
car. You know that car, 2-3 years where people are single, they have
Yes,
their own house, they
yeah.
have their system. Yeah, I didn't have that. I worked from system to system.
Maybe things would have been worse if she did that.
That's
actually.
true. Because
Wow.
I have a way
Because
of being
she's
set
a
to
strong
my mind.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
very, very
yeah,
true.
If you have an expectation that you will lose yourself, imagine you can find yourself.
Me
That's,
teacher.
Yeah.
that's a good guess.
Hey, teacher, teacher.
Students, yes, students.
Any expectation, sex.
Woohoo, woo. Say it. Say it.
Usiogope.
Should I speak?
Speak.
Speak. Do not be afraid.
Okay. When people come into marriage, they expect the sex. I wouldn't say adventure, but the
There
the
you go.
fire, the desire that happens when it's illegal
When it's
to
stolen.
be the same in marriage. Because they forget that when you're single and you're stealing the sexual act, or it's always fueled with that desire and
Lust.
there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of lust and everything.
Yeah.
My friend, even me in marriage, I thought I will always be ready as a man. As a man, me, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Just say
My
Anytime.
friend, it's different. In marriage, first of all, there's this stupidity that comes in. Si yako hapa.
It's okay.
When I'm
Tomorrow is
ready,
another day.
I will really.
Yeah.
When you're ready, it's not ready.
Yeah.
So you start adjusting
Yes.
Apple. Then there's a lot of stuff that happens when you're single. It's a lot of performance in sex. It's not making love. It's more of I'm the man. You want her to go and tell her friends
Yeah, we
that
chapa
boss,
ikalala.
that guy is different.
Yes.
I actually brought that in my marriage. And she actually pointed it out.
She was like, bro, it's
She
okay,
pointed it out.
relax. We are all here. Just calm down. We know you're the lion. It's okay. Just calm down. Okay? Can we just have one day of, something? You know, it's not every day you want to kill someone. Every day.
It's not like ours. You're making me look like.
No. You're really, I'll tell you that. You're
Yeah.
really. But there are sometimes you just want the flip side.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing. People don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't talk about what you want
true.
in the bedroom.
Yes.
Just expect him to know today me I want to
That
sleep, the next day I want to
communication,
sleep.
Communication.
But,
very,
you know,
very important.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's another expectation
Yes.
for you.
Yeah, sex in marriage is very different. We have to also learn that sex in marriage, apart from procreation, and it's a plus of pleasure that the Lord gave us, it's also what you call active worship or worship in Christianity, as long as it's done in
In
marriage.
Emphasis on marriage.
Because there's a communion of husband and wife and God at the same time.
Intimacy.
So it's different. There's some, hey, this is going deep into a preaching.
Man, we need another session.
Let it come out.
There are certain issues God fixes out when a couple is actually having sex.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
You
we
guys
are
are
actually
agreeing. I need that
They have
story.
experience.
Yes.
Agreeing.
that we have no idea about.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very, very true. And he fixes it. And he's there in the midst at the same time. So I would say that the sex when you're a single and all that stuff, and in marriage, it's different. There's levels to this actually. There's real levels, and it's deeper than what we have with lust.
That's
And
true.
it's way
You guys
deep.
have anything to add on that sex story? You're overexcited.
I think for me, like he's talking about, there are things that God works out even just through having
Yes.
sex with your
Yep.
partner.
Yep.
Do you know? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I said we're gonna be real. We're gonna be raw. So
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
real and
honest.
raw.
I'm
Yes.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna be
Don't-
honest.
Breathe until breathe.
This is where I should be taking my
Yes.
Take your
Apple
sip.
juice.
I'll help you take it.
Let me give you like the days you have that moment
Yeah.
in that place.
Mm.
When you leave that room, even people on the outside will be like, "These people are happy."
Yeah,
Yes.
they're glowing.
You get
Hey.
you
And they
you
glow.
try go 1 week.
You're mad, you don't even know why.
You don't even know why.
It's just
you don't even understand.
True.
You're snapping at each
But then,
other.
yeah, you kwanza you're snapping. That's when the boom.
You're snapping at each other. You're wondering why.
And then after it
what's
happens, you're like,
happening.
oh, that's what I needed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you
exactly.
needed.
And then all of a sudden you're having conversations. You're like, hey, by the way, oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yes.
And you're leaving the
Fixer.
room.
Yes.
It's a
good
fixer. Like it's a fixer.
And it's more of a fixer than having it to the person you love. Because even when you're single,
Yes.
there's still meaningless sex whereby you thought it was a fix
Yeah.
and you feel actually emptier.
Yeah.
But when it's my friend, come to
Have you
this
not gone
side.
for counseling and then the counselor tells you, you hear somebody,
Yeah.
they talk, and then the response is, my friend, you all need sex.
Sex. very nice.
End of
That's
the
what
day.
you all need. That's what you all need
Yes.
to fix this whole
Yes.
thing.
Go to a
Like,
whole sex
we've
topic,
all-
by the
by
way.
the- yeah,
You guys,
sorry.
there's a
It is,
whole
it is.
sex topic that's coming up.
yeah.
Let's come back to reality and
Please
expectation.
bring us back.
let me bring it back to some light things. Remember when you first get married, you don't have jack and the beanstalk in your house. Nothing. Your house is as empty as anything. My expectation was I'll move in and suddenly I'll have all the nice things.
Way.
Nice couch, the
My friends,
curtain.
woo.
Have you ever sat on the floor for months? Months and months and
Sips
months.
juice.
Because you have to save for a couch. You have to save for
You sat on
curtains.
the floor.
I never knew curtains had to be saved for.
By the way, that's starting life.
Fam.
Normal.
Where?
Especially if you
got-
get married young.
she-
Like
she
you
got
marry
me.
someone who's
Yeah,
already well off.
Established
It's
and
a
all that
different
thing.
story.
And also we
As
have the
we're
pressure of
establishing
social
together.
media, pressure of reality TV shows,
Yeah.
Wow.
all that.
Wow.
So you're putting pressure on your partner. By the way, you should have already had a sort by now.
But exactly.
Me, I was sorting out myself as a bachelor. Sindio? So my fridge was fika in my magoti. I was alone.
It was knee height.
Yes, knee height. Me, I was okay. I had my pillows made from Gikosh. You know, my pallets. I bought from the road, Uko Jogo Road at that time. I sorted myself.
Yes.
Now you need to
I
accommodate.
saved.
Exactly.
Bought my TV. It's mine.
Yes.
But this is another expectation. Since I bought this with my own sweat, I have to learn to accept that it's also hers.
Yeah.
Put in new change. That thing is
the lie?
painful. It's painful. What do you mean?
Both ways, by the
Yeah,
way.
it's both ways.
It's both ways. Because me, I'd be used to remember I told you, only girl, having
Yeah.
brothers.
Oh, yeah.
There's some things that will just be for me.
Yeah.
In the fridge, they are mine, and we have
Yeah.
that order of, you know, these are for
Yeah.
Nessie, these are for
Yeah.
Victor, like that. You get married,
Is ours.
it's ours.
It's ours.
Is ours.
This is our
Kwanzaa hiyo ya ours.
This
It's
is
different.
our. And then he eats more than me. So
Uh-huh.
I will budget for. Babe, I'm
For
not-
sungura, am I sungura too?
No, I will budget for myself. I know this oatmeal is going to last me 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But we are us.
2 days. You see that us thing. So there's that adjusting for
It
us.
will
I
take
think
time,
that
don't worry.
us and ours things is a serious
It's
issue.
serious
But
at the
Serious.
foundation.
Slides to the financial.
Yes.
Hey.
Bring up that financial point.
Let's go there. Please, let's go there. Because when I was getting married, I had nothing to my name, by the way. I was just me and my love for Jesus
Yeah.
going to marriage. So we get married. He has money. He's
Both in
making
your
money. Me and Rafael too. I have nothing. I'm getting married. He has things. I have nothing.
Yeah.
Me, I just came with the clothes on my back and a few suitcases. So there's the adjusting of he has money. It's his money. He has worked hard. He has made it. And I'm done managing. How do you feel about that?
And she has to
And I manage
accept.
it my way. And for me, personally, I don't like first asking my husband for money is, I know we are sharing, but for me it's just a no. Like I should be able to do it myself. You know, I have that thing for money.
take
If
time.
you leave me now, I
It'll
will
take
survive.
time.
You know,
It'll
that
take
kind of
time.
thing. So having to adjust to, you know what?
Ask
I am
you.
in a season where I need your help.
Yeah.
That vulnerability.
That's different
Took
for
a
her.
lot.
I struggled.
Took
I
a lot.
struggled
And
me
that's why
personally.
she was also suffering that identity thing.
Yeah.
And
You
she
remember
had
identity thing?
phases
Yeah.
of depression of, I'm just here a housewife,
Man.
of which she doesn't like that. For
And
me,
that's 'cause
me, I'm
also you-
celebrating.
Babe,
Me, I'm
babe,
like,
babe,
I'm a
babe.
man.
Let me tell you.
I'm
You're taking care of
providing.
everything. No, but even him
Yeah.
is not. He wants a partner. He doesn't want a housewife
Yes.
either. Because
Yes,
you feel like this one is dragging you down. You want someone you can bounce off ideas. So there was that, and then you need my trail of thought.
I'm sorry.
So I didn't want to ask for money.
Yeah.
So there was that season where I needed him to hold the fort,
Yeah.
get it together. Then
Yes.
now when my turn comes.
Yes.
But luckily, in a few months, I was working as a stylist.
You're getting your
Shout
own.
out. I was getting my own
Getting
money.
your
And hey,
And
it
she's
was
feeling good about
I
it.
was feeling so
She
good.
comes,
When
so
I'm
I will
happy, he's
handle
happy.
this
Yeah.
and you'll handle that. I was like, man, I'm already sorry. Let's see.
But that's another thing. People don't understand that there are seasons of that.
Yeah.
Seasons where
Yeah.
you will have, me I won't have,
It's-
and vice versa.
It's a team. I like how Nessie always tells me we are a team. So when one is short of something, the other picks up, carries
Yeah.
it up.
Exactly.
It has to be a team. It's us against the world,
Yes, not
not
That's the mindset.
against each other.
Yeah.
It has to be that teamwork. Always. Even
Always.
even the certain things we may not even have to speak here on television. I have to always protect her. She has to always protect me,
Yeah.
and I have
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
my
There's that
levels.
look
Yeah.
you give each other
Yes.
like, don't
Yeah.
go there.
Or even just a feeling. No, I know Nessie won't feel good.
Yeah.
There's that teamwork.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes she's wrong, I cannot address that in public.
But when you go home,
Home, then I can.
Sit down.
You understand?
yeah, bro.
Yeah. For finances, that expectation is real. More so for if the man has lived as a bachelor and the lady has lived as a spinster for a while, then they come together and now they start to merge.
You have to adjust.
You have to.
That one is different.
That adjusting, I think, is the most painful
Yeah, it is.
growth process.
And then we're coming with advice of the
What we
olden
have
days
done.
of like the one our aunties or mothers will
Have
always
a
say, like,
secret account.
always have a secret account.
Yeah.
You never know. Yes, it works in their side.
'Cause
For me, on
when
my
they had-
side, it kills the trust.
Trust. Yeah.
And only like it,
Yeah.
the devil only needs a crack.
Yep. Yep.
Once, even if it came out of a good heart, it messes up
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So for me, if Nessie had a secret account, yes, it will have come in handy. I appreciate, but at the back of my mind, it will bother me in the trust way.
Yeah, like
Slowly
she's
by
keeping
slowly.
this, what else?
Yeah,
What
because
Yeah.
and it will pop out like this. She'll ask me, "Oh, babe, you need to buy this thing," and I'm like,
But
you have
don't
money
you have
in your
something?
house,
Yeah,
welcome
exactly,
to you.
exactly.
And then it's small. You can't
It just
see it,
grows.
but it grows.
Yeah.
You understand? So as we came up with this method whereby this is our basket.
Yep.
She brings the money.
Yep.
I also bring the money.
Yep.
And now it is ours.
And
I
we
could have brought
pair
2
them.
more, but
Yes.
imagine that 2 million you brought.
It's ours. It's
That
ours.
generosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That generosity
Yeah.
in marriage is a virtue to be learned. Not being selfish is also another virtue to be learned. It's intense. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, like you're saying, one of the advice we got, it was my cousin who was like, you young people don't listen, don't ever listen. We tell you people, put everything in a joint account.
account.
At that time, I was very single, and I was just like,
Never, ever.
Never.
Me,
That's
pesa
the
yangu.
things I have worked out. I've worked so hard. I have my own cooker.
Yes.
I have my own gas, and then you're talking about
Yes.
not working.
Yeah.
But then getting to that space is a whole different ball
It's
game.
different.
By then, let's just have that pool. Let us
Yeah.
know this is how rich we are right now.
Yeah.
Let us just know
Yeah.
this is
How
how
bad
bad
the
it is
situations
right
are.
now.
Yeah.
Let us dream together. Let us
Yes.
work it out together.
Yes.
Let it go into a pool, and we all know well.
We're
Here is the
building
pool.
each other up.
It is not I brought in 45, you brought in 46. But what do we have in the pool? This is what we have in the pool. Do we have 100? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
I think even more to it,
Yeah.
the issue is the before that step. Because we can bring in finances together, and both of us are not financially wise.
Yeah.
Hey!
You get-
In fact,
So-
your
so-
story.
so
No.
what
You
happened-
can't just dive. No, listen. You can't just go
one
into
thing
that
we've already
point like
solved
that.
is we have agreed that we do, you bring it together.
Work together,
But
yeah.
then the issue is, can we now begin noticing how we do it now? It's together. What do we do? Because we can be still together, and if all of us are not wise, we'll be using it however.
Yeah.
The one account, and before you know it, you are.
You
Go on.
finished, and that's a really important point. So when we come back, we will actually go into defining what marriage is. I think we need to start with the definition.
Yeah.
Start from the basics.
Yeah.
Let's define it. Let's define the process of getting married, and then now these expectations and reality will actually apply to you. So be right back. Welcome back to Save My Marriage with the Lee Bwanas. This is a show that is geared towards building kingdom marriages.
Yep.
So if your marriage needs kidogo surgery, this is the place to be. Right now we are at the Highland Suites. We are so grateful for their hosting, and we were talking about expectations versus reality. We have exhausted that. We've given you our examples. We just want to know, what were your expectations and what were the realities you met when you got married? So feel free to share your experiences with us. Use the hashtag #SaveMyMarriage. There are contact details on the screen right now. You can just shoot us a text, let us know. You can also reach us on our social media handles. I'm Nessie the Empress, Alvin Lee Fitness, Viv Bwana, and Antoniam. Amimo. Anthony
Anthony
Bwana,
Bwana.
you changed. So that you've gotten our handles. You will find us. If you find one of us, you found
find
all
the
of us.
other.
Yes.
Yes. So we are back to talk about what is marriage exactly. We're going to define it. We're going to talk about the process of
Yes.
getting into it, and then these expectations will really make sense to you.
Yeah.
So let's start with the pastor, Daddy Tosh himself. Tell us, what is marriage in the simplest definition and how it applies to us?
Wow.
Yes.
Marriage is an institution. I like putting it in the sense of it is union of two different people with different cultures agreeing and deciding to work together, live together,
Yes.
and having one culture, one understanding to build their purpose and destinies.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, you've
Powerful.
wrapped it up nicely. Like,
Chop,
you can't
chop.
even,
Try.
what can you even add?
Chop, chop.
What do we even add?
I don't
What do you think
know.
marriage is?
Oh my God! Now after that, what am I supposed to say?
I think he has explained
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
in the best
Really well.
possible way. It's
Yeah.
an institution. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's personal
A
agreements.
union.
You have to
Yes.
agree.
Yeah.
It's two
Yeah.
people who have to agree. One
Exactly.
can't decide to marry the other, and then the,
The
other
other
doesn't
one
marry you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that agreement. Third, there's a
Witness.
yes, there's
Witness.
a concept of witness. You have to have witnesses who witness. Speaking of, fun fact, the Buanas are actually our
Best couple.
Yes.
The marriage we walk with together.
Yes.
Because, man, this thing actually requires a community.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
for
true,
real,
it's
for
true.
real.
They know our dirties, we know.
We know
some
their
of them.
dirties. I think you
No,
don't know
no.
many of your dirties.
I
I need more. I need more tea.
Actually, it
That's
helps.
true,
It
yeah.
helps. Because there's certain things we say going through that was a shock for us in marriage. Then you tell them,
Tell them
they're
that,
like,
you too.
you're step one.
And honestly, I feel like that is
Yeah.
one of the
It
most
releases pressure.
important things
Yes.
in marriage.
Yeah.
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 Like, forget all these things you're talking about. Have
Yeah.
that someone who's been there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It will be such an easy. We'll just like, listen, babe, Alvin has annoyed me because of 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes.
10.
Yeah.
Babe will be like, listen, now you're the one who's on the
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people
I
you can
remember
be
that
real
one.
with,
Yeah.
right?
It brings an expectation or reality of a reality. It brings to a reality of
Yeah.
you losing friends.
Boy,
There's some single friends that
that won't serve it.
will not, they're still deep into the singlehood, and there are some single friends who support your journey and they'll still be there with you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to now start acquiring new friends, and they'll come in twos.
Because now you have a different level of understanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
they just can't
That
understand.
is so true.
It
But that
changes.
doesn't mean you should ditch all your single friends. I
Yeah.
think that's
It
another
just
thing that we
happens.
usually
Yes,
told.
also, yeah.
Because there's a reason why I have this single friend.
Yes.
She helps me with entertainment, let's say. She's fun to
Yeah,
hang
yeah,
around, and
Yeah.
I still need
brings
that.
about the balance.
But then I have Vivian, who I'll talk to about marriage and,
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
this
Yeah.
is what's happening in our
Yeah.
marriage right now. What would you advise? That kind of
But
thing.
when I
Also,
say
you're
that
looking
it
at-
happens,
yeah,
it
you're also
happens,
looking
and the
at
season is over.
influencing.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're also looking at influencing others.
Influence, it just
So,
happens.
Yeah.
I normally say the moment you get something that is good, it doesn't mean that those who don't like it, they might not like every other thing around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's
true.
just not their
So
season.
give the fruits, give the apples to those who are asking for the apples.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then those who want to get to your life also,
Yeah.
they'll have to go through probably the culture and understanding.
Yeah.
of what-
Yes,
what-
yes,
what
yes.
The
whatever
transitions you're
Yes.
going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because you'll be in a different season, they'll be in a different
Exactly.
season.
That is
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
So now that we're talking about what marriage is, what is the process of getting married? Because there's the can we stay as we've been living together for 6 years, so we are married. You call that your bae, you call that your husband, but in reality it's not your husband because hakuna pete, hakuna witness, hakuna agreement. So like there's that. I know it's such a touchy topic because guys are usually like he's my boo, he's been my boo for 11 years, we've been living together, we have 2 kids.
And they're maybe more successful than other
Oh, yeah.
marriages.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Happens.
why should they even go through the whole
Ceremony,
wedding?
yes.
First of all, weddings are expensive, you know. Like I just want you guys to bring it home as to why all this whole process is important. First of all, what is the process? And then tell us what is right and wrong
Yeah.
in all of this, like how people are living right now.
Okay.
Hey,
Allow me to begin.
you are allowed.
I don't know how I can scream this any louder
Yeah.
without looking like a crazy woman right now. But can we actually have your union documented? I don't know how loud I can scream that. There is something about
Do you mean documented? Do you mean like captured on
anyway.
video or documented in
documented,
certification?
like in, for
Ah.
example, when you start a business, do you just come and have a conversation and greet each other and
And say welcome to the
welcome,
code
we are
group.
we are now in the code book.
You are now in
Because
Lubai.
when something, and you don't get, again, expectations versus reality, you don't get into marriage with the thought that I want to get out.
Yes.
But life has a way of doing something. Your spouse can become disabled because of something that has happened.
Yeah.
And then the family shows up and is like, who are you?
Whoop.
We don't know you. And your proof is what? In court? I lived
You
with
lived
him for
with him.
6 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Not
you've
fast.
seen what has been happening on
Oh,
social
yeah.
media lately. There have been so many people who have come in, and the court was like, no, this is no longer a valid
A valid
reason
reason,
for someone to come and say, this is my partner.
After all, it's an institution.
It is an
It's
institution.
documented.
There are rules that
Yeah.
govern that institution. And that is one of the things that we have to always keep in mind. We have an institution,
Yes.
and there are rules that govern that
Govern the
institution.
institution.
There are people that are in this institution. And so the people have differences and all these other
Yes,
things
yes,
which we can
yes,
work
yes,
out.
yes.
But the rules of the institution are still the rules of
same.
the
Yes.
institution.
Principles of
This is a covenant you're coming
It's
into.
a
What does a
contract.
covenant look like?
Yes.
Even if we go back to scripture, I have gone into preaching.
It's
If we
okay.
go
That's
back
what you want.
into scripture, every time there was
The pastor in high is
anything-
coming out.
the pastor is rising. Every time God was doing something, he always did a sign
Yes.
to show that this is a covenant.
Yes.
In all scripture,
Yeah.
the sign of the covenant was something had to die.
Mm.
Be it a lamb, be it all that. And it became the ultimate redemption that we needed at the time was the death of his son. Then no blood was needed to be shed
Yes.
anymore. So now we are in a covenant with our God that we can never back out of.
Yes.
Because this has already been done.
Yes.
And so there is always that something that needs to be done as a sign, as a covenant. This is a covenant we're coming into. And when you come into a covenant, y'all gotta have rules.
Yeah. And there are consequences of not following this
Exactly.
covenant. And that brings the topic of soul ties, because you're enjoying something that is meant to be in the institution, and you're
Out
already
of an
not in that.
institution.
Yeah. And so the consequences now start happening, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, deep.
And so I would say, I don't know how we define marriages. Please don't wake. And I'm sorry if this sounds a bit harsh,
Harsh, yeah,
but
but it's
don't
the
wake
real
up
truth.
one morning, live with someone for 10 years, and then say, this is my husband.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
I don't know how loud I can scream that. It's a lie. And listen, you don't have to do a white wedding.
Yeah.
That, thank you.
You
Thank
don't
you
have
very
to do a
much.
white wedding. Let
Thank
me tell
you.
you. Just don't make sure the government is aware
Aware.
of who you are as a people, that
Yes.
we have come into an agreement. We
Your
can't
own
scream that
budget.
louder. Don't, honestly, if you don't have any proof of that,
You're
you
not
are
married.
just a person
Yeah.
living with another person. Y'all are
Vivian.
housemates. And I'm sorry if this
Vivian,
is
it's
sounding
okay.
harsh,
It's okay.
but for real, like I keep seeing, sorry, I'm being very emotional.
Okay,
about
Vivian,
this.
take a sip
Let
of
me
juice.
take a
Please. Hey, I even feel sorry for the people. I'm like, wait.
Because I see so many people getting hurt in the process, and then you're saying the
'cause there's
institution
an
is
It's
fake.
not
Yeah.
working.
And
Eh?
if you-
You're never even in
the
it to
rules.
begin
You've
with.
never been in it in the first place.
Yeah,
Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Drink.
Konya, mama.
Drink. Hey, hey, hey. It's hot. It's hot.
This whole narrative for marriage is fake. Marriage is not fake. It means if your marriage is fake, then one of you is fake.
Yes.
Eh.
That's
If your marriage is
Very
fake,
true.
one of you is
fake.
fake.
Yes.
Ah, Pastor Bill.
Period.
true. That's
Eh.
it. That's it.
Wow.
And also
I have
another thing,
finished.
you don't need to get married. If you don't get married.
That's man. In fact, we can now go home.
Shake my
Shake his
hand.
fingers. Shake her fingers. Shake her
That's true.
fingers.
Because what people are trying to do is they want to
Forcing
get
issues.
the benefits of marriage
Yes.
outside,
Outside.
marriage. And again, consequences.
Yeah.
Like principle is principle.
Yeah.
If you do not follow a rule, just from high school, if you break a rule or something of a sort, you will face the
It's
consequences.
either you're
It
all
happens.
in or you're
Or
not.
all out.
Period.
That's
You can't
actually
be somewhere in
another thing many
between.
people have.
Yeah.
Entering attitude when getting into marriage.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a
You
big
people.
topic.
Call me.
You guys have come in hot today. I don't know. I don't know.
That attitude, because actually, because of upbringing. More so, I'm sorry, but this is something I've just witnessed. I mean, I always witness. It's not bad. I'm just saying. People, most people, have, mainly ladies who have been brought up by single mothers who have also been hurt, have raised their girls differently.
That's
And like I've witnessed a lady saying, men are just for their money and all that stuff. Trust me, the girl is 9. By the time she's 16,
It is so much
there's
sealed.
nothing else. to tell
Tattooed
her.
in the blood.
Sealed, yeah.
And
That's
do you know
true.
what's funny? We noticed that
painful.
we reflect a lot on our childhood the things that hit our childhood when we're in marriage.
Yep.
We
Oh, yeah.
reflect
Yeah.
on them so much because now we get to compare. Now we get to say, actually, this thing has affected me and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so those things have affected some ladies entering marriage thinking it's always going to be a boxing
Yeah,
match. It's
well,
like
me, I'm
it's
ready
either
for
my
war.
things or nothing.
Yeah.
My
You
way or
understand?
no way.
Yes, and also another man who's been raised by mainly men saying, my friend, women.
Yeah,
are
make
the
sure
real
you keep
enemy.
your- yeah.
You have to nini,
There's that
and the
narrative.
same thing
Yeah.
happens. So the attitude, be willing to come and learn, relearn, and learn.
And
And learn, relearn,
Yes.
and get a new culture altogether.
That's it.
Yeah.
That
That's
is-
it.
Hey, you guys have come in hot. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I'm like, wow, 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 wow.
Take a
Hey,
sip.
take a sip. Let me take a sip. Hold on.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
Now, you guys have talked about what marriage is not. Aren't us to go through the journey of getting married? So you've met this guy, girl
Yeah.
meets guy, and they
Yeah.
fall in love, and now they want to take the next step. First,
Yeah.
me, what I'd ask you first of all, why? What?
Why?
Why? Where are we going? And why are we going there? You need to understand what you're getting into
Why marriage?
and why you're getting into it. Because some guys just get into it, so one, maybe now sex is unlimited, it's like it's bundles. Another thing is,
Like that.
oh, now you want someone else to take care of
Security.
you. You know,
Yeah.
there are different reasons. Find your why. Your
Yeah.
why will be different from mine,
Yeah.
but we can meet somewhere in
We
the
can
middle.
meet,
Because your why might supplement mine.
Yeah.
You see, we need to define that why. Secondly, we need to define what, like what this is going to grow
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
Are we going to go into marriage for kids or
Yeah.
marriage for no kids?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
between you two.
Yes.
If you guys say we'll never
That's
have kids,
absolutely
you will
true.
never have
You
kids.
never
And
have
that's,
kids,
that's
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
That's okay. It's you guys.
Yeah.
So tell us, Daddy Tosh, what are the things that we need to arm ourselves with to get into marriage? Like, what is the why? What's a few of the whys we need as we are getting married?
I think maybe just almost defining the why, because it's first asking, because you notice that you want to get into marriage. So the why helps you to see if I actually can do anything that I would do married, then I can also do them single. So getting the why is now almost seeing what are the things that, and there's something we didn't touch on, which is very important also within marriages and how they are done and how science and anything that now makes it legit that you have actually gotten married. There is a Christian marriage. There is a traditional marriage.
Yeah.
Then the government also has set a way that
Yeah.
it can actually accept or just agree that these particular people are lawfully wedded. And all these things have processes. And so whatever you decide, because some people decide to pick one and run with it.
Yes.
We know that. But then whatever you decide, and again, this has to do with your values. So the person I'm looking for, would we have you already put foundations on things that you feel like these have to be part of what I'm looking for the person I'm looking for? Because already you have, and as you're saying, there's unlearning and all that, but then you have been developing your life all through.
Yes.
Before feeling like or thinking that you now need someone. And so through this process, you don't want it to go for waste. You need someone who now also almost understands, who is almost equally connected to the things and the values that you guys are connected to. And so when you get to that point, it will already have answered one question, the why, the first why. So I'm not just getting married because I want to fix a need of sex or finance or you already know what you need. You already understand the basis or the understanding of what that union can do.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian, you understand what Scripture says. When two people agree, when two people come together, whatsoever they ask for, whatsoever is bind, whatsoever. So getting all the background of what your way of understanding of marriage will be. And so choosing that will already make you realize that there's so much access to wealth, blessing, all
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
It's true.
I love that. So, Daddy Tosh is spitting. If you guys are not taking notes, I don't know, you will lose it. But when we come back, we will go into details of what the big whys should be
Yeah.
that can guide you. So if you're single, this is your point. We're going to give you a minute to go get your notebooks, get your smartphones, anything that you can write on, and then come right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Save My Marriage with the Lee Warners. We have discussed a lot about expectations and reality. We have now graduated to marriage and its why. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about our whys, how we defined it for ourselves, and how it was redefined when we got married. Right?
Yeah.
Should I go first? No, let
Yeah.
Josh go first.
Then go fast.
Okay, so personally, me, I had my first why. I realized that we need to create our own rule book. Like this marriage needs to be us guys, not our parents, not our...
Yeah.
That's why we even don't use Anyumba, Alvin's surname. We
Yeah.
decided to use the middle name so that we make our own dynasty.
Yes.
I wanted to change the narrative, break generational curses, because those are there.
Yeah.
And so I had, my why was to, one, break generational curses, because in my family, before me, there were no successful marriages.
Wow.
So for me, I was on a mission. I was like, listen, I have to prove that it's possible. I have to do it the right way so that there's no blame, you know. Hakuna mali mtatoa points, that kind of thing. So that was my why. He agreed with my why. And we went with that flow. So there are some of his whys that I agreed with, some of my whys he agreed with, and we created a different why.
Yeah.
And that applies to so many things, because I come with mine, he comes with his, we create one new recipe. Like that, like that, like that. So what were your whys
My why.
that I agree with that are now our whys?
My why.
Yes.
There is the not very serious why. Then there is a why. The not very serious why was, of course, like the sex part, because there's a saying that goes, no one gets married as fast as two horny Christians.
That was us. That was us. Celibacy is not for the
Because we're
faint-hearted.
actually practicing celibacy. But beyond that, we still wanted to get married. And I love teamwork, tag team, coming together, bringing our goals together and working towards it, dominating, creating that dominion, working towards something, building our dynasty, as she said, and just being successful in it. You understand? So mine became more of, it just made that curve from that sexual thing, then came back to now dominion, and that was the real why, either way. Because even when she phoned me, I was already on that path.
And that's
you know.
something people don't
Yeah.
realize. Like, if you're a single man, you need to be out there doing something so that us as helpers, we come in and we have some recipes to work with, you know,
Yes,
like
yes,
some
yes,
ingredients.
yes.
Not us coming to cook up a whole thing. We need to find you, even if you're not doing something physically, you have like a roadmap in
vision
your
or something,
mind
yes.
that you're like, this is what I need, this is what I need. And then me, I'll find a place where I fit in
Yes,
that whole
yes,
equation.
yes.
Yeah,
And
so if you're
that's why
single out
she
there,
fit in so well.
yes,
It is true.
that was our why.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
What were your whys?
My why. I think for the longest time, I imagined that marriage would be... For the longest time, it's just about two people living together like boyfriend and girlfriend and have a happy life after that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the man is expected to bring the food. The wife can work if she wants. She can choose not to work if she wants. And then just live happily ever after, giving birth to children and, you know,
Yeah.
and the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah.
But finding purpose in marriage is one of the biggest things for me.
Yes, yes.
And I think that's one of the things that even made me realize that, okay, I think marriage would be a thing that I can work with. Because I feel like marriage it brings out who you truly are if you find it in the right place, in the right time, in the
With
right
the right
season,
person.
with the right person for you. And so for me, having him talk to me and tell me, I want to help you achieve your dreams, and it does not involve, achieving dreams does not look like earning money. Those are two different things.
Yes, yes.
And so for him telling me, hey, I want to help you achieve your dreams, and I look at him and I see, he has those things that need to help me build my dream. And I looked at him and I'm like, I can help you with this and this and this, and we can be able to achieve the dream. And the biggest thing, we sing love. It's not the ninis, the flamingos we talked about in the last
butterflies.
episode. But love is not a feeling, it's more a choice. And so I choose every day to love this man every day of my life.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I choose to love him. It's not a matter of did he do something right or wrong so that I love him a little bit less, but I'm just gonna love him. I choose to love him. You think, as in, the thought of this guy helping me achieve my dreams, and our dreams seem to always
come back
meet
together.
somewhere.
Meet
Uko
somewhere.
mbele, yeah.
And so that for me, purpose was my why. It had nothing to do with I am looking for a place where I can be taken care of and go. Well, that's a nice perk.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
a
mean,
nice
it comes
perk.
with a package. Yeah.
It comes with a package. But if I was told that's the only thing,
No thanks.
Yeah.
no thanks.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no
That's
thanks.
powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is really good. I like a point that you said, something about choosing to love.
Yes.
Yeah.
You choose every day to love.
Yeah.
I remember that woman who told me I can be both a business person and a wife.
Yeah.
She told me another thing. Hey, Mama Nigel. A shout out to you. She told me that when you're making this decision, before you get married, you need to remove that component called love. Because at the end of the day, and I loved how she said this, she didn't say love ends. She says love settles.
Exactly.
I was just like, woo!
Exactly.
Because me, you know how guys usually are like, oh, it's just honeymoon phase, itaisha.
Itaisha. Oh my God.
I refuse.
That's
Too
an
fear.
expectation.
I refuse. It's even hotter.
No ended.
It's true.
But the reality is, love does settle. It doesn't end. It's still there, put in your glass, but now it's settled. You can see things clearly.
Yeah.
Other than me loving him, can I live with him not doing dishes? You have to choose your battles. That's when you select your why. Yeah, so love settles. Now, your why.
Wow, I think much has been said. I'm like, actually at some point I was just thinking about what exactly were some of the things that have made me make this decision. Honestly, looking down to who I was before, I tried everything I needed that would be mentioned as some of the elements within marriage, but it wasn't fitting. It wasn't fitting that. It wasn't fitting it. So it could be, if it is sex, you try out everything, you know. If it was living together, I lived together, I achieved things, I bought things in the house. I'm like, okay, I can do it. But then I needed a friend. I needed to see, and I'll mention this, allow me to mention this, that even in marriages where you don't see kids, but I needed to see people looking at a power couple doing certain things that anyone can admire. And that is something I can even say to such situations where you are in a relationship and you have not gotten kids. There's something that people are seeing even beyond that.
Yeah.
You are helping people who needs the solution of just needs to get into marriage. You might not be helping them to understand how children and all that happen,
Yeah,
but
that's
you're
true.
helping in one way. You know, there's a part of your purpose that you have achieved.
Yes.
Coming
That's
together.
Yeah.
And then for me, also just growing up and seeing marriages, and also again growing up in areas where marriage always looked as like a bad thing, because most of the time you'd hear, hey, couples are fighting, or in a neighborhood where there's always, you know, there's always the woman's place in the kitchen, and we grew up knowing this and seeing this. And so for me, I had already an impression of, I need to get to this to change the mindsets.
That's
And so for me getting into this, I needed a path that will help me to understand how or what qualities of marriage would be for me. I needed a companion. I didn't need a competitor. Being a man, you know, we're raised in situations where we almost look at ourselves as it's always like a competition.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
how rich are you?
Yes.
Or what else do you have? You know. But then coming in and bringing someone else in, and both of you seeing yourselves growing something together, it almost broke the place of mindsets that we are competing about. And I think this is also something important that we should see.
Yeah.
We are not competing. We are together in the
We're
same
working
side, the
together,
same team, moving with values
Together.
You have
the
my back,
cause
I
of
have
what we
yours.
do.
Yeah, I think what we all agree is that we wanted to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Like we had the narrative of our people's, our parents' marriages, our environmental marriages, but now we wanted to, you know, bring it together and have our own definition of what marriage is and what works and what doesn't.
Yes, yes.
And that brings me to the point of making, like, what governs your marriage. Like, there has to be a rule book of some sort. If this was a game, there has to be rules and be like, oh, if you cross this line, this is the this is what happens, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I know for both couples, it's the Bible, because
Yeah.
we're Christian, we believe in God,
Yes.
and He's the one who created the
Yeah. The
union.
institution.
So we have, I feel like every marriage should have a rule book of some sort.
Yes.
Ukiumia sana, nimeumia sana, we can't meet somewhere, there has to be a point where something beyond us makes the final decision, right? So did you guys establish your own rules, or where do you get your rules from? The Bwanas. Do you have guidelines? Let me not say rules. Rules is a bit harsh.
I think I'll probably incline to say values
Values.
for me.
You know my mind. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to say values. And guys, sit down and discuss what your values are. Just sit down and discuss if your values are the same. Because if integrity is not a value for someone, and you want to marry this person, and you believe integrity is key, and then you're hoping that when you get into marriage, you will change them into becoming, first of all, if you don't like somebody who has no integrity, leave them alone.
Leave them. Yeah.
Don't marry them and bring them into a marriage and want them to change, okay?
Yeah.
If they don't have integrity, just leave them alone,
Yes.
okay? But just come up with the values. For us, we have some core values in our family that we believe this is what we stand by. If something happens to these core values and something is shaken and the core values are questioned, then it's a matter of us sitting down and asking ourselves, then what is the problem?
Yeah.
Where did we go wrong when we came up with this value?
Yes.
What were we expecting when we came up with this value? Because when you come up with core values, it's not that you are anticipating something bad is going to happen, but you're putting the
preparing.
values there because
Yes.
this is it.
Yeah.
We believe in trust. We're going to be trustworthy. Yes. We're going to communicate. Yes. And so one day communication fails. You didn't say something, the other person didn't say something. And then we come back, it's becoming an issue, and we ask ourselves, so why did we put communication here as a value?
Yes.
So why is it important for us? And of course, the ultimate of it all is we believe in one thing, kingdom marriage.
Yes.
And what a kingdom marriage looks like for us is what is the bottom line for us. That is the bottom line for us. If I wake up today and bring in culture that is not of kingdom, then we need to ask ourselves, are we still walking the same path?
Yes.
Or are we no longer on the same path?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also beyond, thank you for that. Actually, that's basically it. But interestingly, is when now this almost look like not even like guidance or values, because when you put it as values, sometimes it gives an impression of there are things that we look to. It becomes different when you start living
It. It now becomes no longer law.
Yes, and I think that's what we are doing. That I don't even need to think of it as something somewhere that we agreed, but I'm living it.
Yeah.
And so when I keep doing this, my kids begin to see the same, you know. And so I don't need to work to train them to something. They are looking at my lifestyle. They are
And they
looking
can
at our
see
marriage, and they're
it,
seeing
yeah.
it. Because what affects our perspective, and this is for all, not even only Christians, what affects our perspective of marriage is what we see growing up. And so for us to change that is to live that right course of value, of principles,
Yes.
all these things that we come together with.
Yes. Yes.
Now let me ask you, do you think, I know the answer, but I'm just asking for someone who might be thinking it. Do you think that someone from a single parent upbringing can have a successful marriage? Because they didn't have that, what you're saying, like they didn't have a marriage to look up to. Like, do you think it's possible for me as a single child, a single parent child, to have a successful marriage?
It
Yes.
definitely is.
Absolutely.
It is,
Yes.
absolutely.
So many marriages that are
Absolutely,
very
yes.
much succeeding
Yeah.
minus that. I think it's always just the stage of knowing I'm getting into something. What do I need to, before even saying what do I need to learn, what do I need to unlearn?
And
Yep.
You
Yep.
see, we talk,
That's usually
we
the
talk
first
about
step.
problems or issues being people. Probably this world we would never have anything or understood any issues that would come up if we wouldn't have people. People have made things to seem different, to act different, and we are here, so we respond to that. And so the things that even when we create specific things, or for instance values and all that, we are flowing through a value that we have created. But it is the people
Individuals.
The
yeah.
individuals. And so there's more of working, of knowing the whys, as we were saying. Why am I doing this? Why would I want to do this? And as I'm entering in this, what about the other person? And so we start understanding, okay, this is the place of accommodation, this is the place of, I know I'm entering into this, it might not be as perfect, I'm going to meet someone I don't know, but I want to learn because I've already stepped out from I want marriage. So you have to study that beyond. So I think it's so important that most people need to get that, as we have mentioned it, as probably the basis of what you were saying. Know why first. Before getting the why, it's better to stay, because you don't want to get into something that you don't understand. There's a minister who used to say, if you don't want a child or a baby, you know the routes that might lead you there. Having an unprotected sex, and you know very well that you'll get a baby that will take care of stuff like that. So get into marriage knowing what is it. And so the place of unlearning will help that person who was raised single. Because mostly our perception is, I'm seeing my dad raising me or raising us like this. I don't want to be that. Then you run away from that, but then you become worse than that because you almost begin to look like you're solving that. But then you enter into marriage, then you realize that you're meeting someone who was raised by only a single parent. Now, all they knew was one side of it. So both of us need to understand that. I think these are some of the things that should be talked more on counseling.
And we will
bring
this
that.
Is the counseling. This is the counseling.
That's where
so thank you for even bringing that up. Like there is a whole unlearning process that you have to go through and identifying yourself. As TD Jakes once said, you cannot confront what you don't identify. So you have to identify what the problem is and then confront it, then you can conquer it.
Very true.
So
very
good.
True.
So anyway, thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you for watching all the way till now. We will be back next week, we promise. And we will be discussing something Alvin talked about. Do we have sex in marriage or do we make love? Or do we do both? Let's find out. We will tell you. Us will be real, we'll be 100% with you. Make sure your children are sleeping and come back. Let's discover and learn together and heal. Thank you so much for watching. As we are finishing, I just want everyone to give a 2-second parting shot. Starting with Mr. Alvin Lee. Tell us, what final words do you have for the viewers?
For today's topic, okay, my final parting shot would be sharing your marriage. Enter marriage ready to share your life with someone. Be ready to learn. Be ready to unlearn. Be ready to be selfless as well. Thank you.
Wow. My parting shot for us today is we all have our childhood experiences. We all have past traumatic trauma. But the choice to heal is yours.
Yes.
The
Powerful.
choice to heal is yours. That's it for me today.
Wow.
My parting shots. My parting shots are marriage is made beautiful together.
Yes.
Don't build marriage outside with our mindset and perceptions of the old. We build.
That's perfect.
Wow.
Good.
Amazing.
My parting shot is marriage is between the two of you and what you allow in. You have 100% right to refuse and accept.
Yep.
Yes. So thank you so much. A special thank you to Highland Suites for hosting us. It's a beautiful place. Please send in your comments, your questions. Use the hashtag #SaveMyMarriage. Find us on social media. Contact us on the contacts that are showing on your screen. And we will see you next time where we'll be discussing something extra juicy. If you know, you know. We'll see you next time. Bye. We'll have to do a cheers. Cheers to successful marriages.
Successful marriages.
Yes. Cheers. See you next time.
The Save My Marriage show has been recorded at the Highland Suites Apartment Hotel on Chania Avenue, Kilimani.